When I started my business journey 2 years ago, I spent hours creating content. And I remember using platforms such as Pinterest to look for information and inspiration to what to post and try to put my flow to it. And although I felt I was being productive and that I was doing something to make this business work, I was not accomplishing what I was after, and that was generating sales. And not only did I spend most of my time creating content, I also created content with zero value. Like, I had no idea who I was talking to and what kind of problems they had. But all I did was assume. I assumed they had this problem, and I assumed that this was a solution that they all wanted. So eventually, after trying and failing for so long, I figured out that I had to step it up. Like, this was obviously not going to work. So one, I had to niche down. I had to figure out what kind of problem I was solving. And secondly, I had to gain the confidence to speak up, speak about my beliefs, my perspective, and what I stand for. And it's really embarrassing, but I'm not going to lie. For at least 6 months, the thing I posted was not even mine. Because I created content that every big creator out there told me to create. Generic information that got a lot of shares, likes, and comments. It's all about the comments and all about the likes. And I also think at some point I posted 4 times a day. And it absolutely drained me because I had a full-time job, I was a mom, and I was trying to make this business work. And I had limited capacity during the day to actually spend time on building this business, to get clients in. So then I knew I had to find a better way to create content because this was not sustainable. This was not going to work. So when I started the process of niching down, I quickly realized that most of the people I talk to all have the same type of problems. So from there, I was able to create my audience's problem pillars. So everybody's talking about content pillars, right? So you know what to post. But I also want you to understand the importance of you knowing your audience's problem pillars. If you go over my content, you can see that I talk about 5 primary topics, but I package it differently. It's how to create content, how to niche down, articulating your value, high ticket buyer psychology, networking, and finding clients. So how was I able to figure that out? Well, you guys told me. I've spoken to so many of you. You all have the same problems. You don't need to come up with new topics over and over and over again. What you need to do is repeat the same message over and over and over again, but package it differently. Because you think that as long as you say it once, the people will understand it. No, they won't. No. You need to explain the problem so many times and package it differently, because people learn differently. It takes time for people to understand that they have a problem and how to fix it. So you will get so bored of your own content. But this is the solution. You don't come up with new topics. You find a new way to package it, to present it, so people understand it. So now that I have figured out their pain points, I knew what the next step was. It was to create long-form video content. Because I knew the answer to these questions, but I had a hard time finding the courage to do a live session and talk about this topic. Oh, I was terrified. And I remember my first live session so clearly. I had scripted the whole entire live session, and then I went live and I read it all, and I was pretending that I was doing this without a script. And it was so bad. It was so bad. This live session, y'all. Ooh. But I did it. And I forced myself to do a live session on a weekly basis. And that helped me to work more efficiently. Because what I was able to do was to chop up these live sessions in smaller pieces and create a reel, TikTok, YouTube short, you name it. But I did not have to spend several hours anymore creating content. I had content now, and I still do this till this day. I do my live sessions, or I create long form video content, and I chop my live sessions up in bits and pieces. So I have so much content to choose from. I am no longer burning myself out in the process of creating content, which I used to do. And the hard truth is, if your situation are like mine, you're a mom or your dad, you have a family, you're working full time, maybe you have 2 jobs, and you're trying to build a business on the side, you need to figure out a more efficient way to create content. You can't spend the majority of your time in Canva creating beautiful posts. that is not going to make a sale. It's just how it is. And if you are sitting here with a family, you have a full-time job, you're trying to build this business and creating content and trying to get your first client in, imagine you working like this and you having clients. If you think it's stressful now, because you have to create all this content, imagine you having 5-6 clients on top of that. With a family, with a full-time job. It's not sustainable. So you need to find a better way of creating content. Live sessions and long-form video content is the best way of doing it. If you are in the situation where you have limited capacity during the day to create content. And that is how I am able to spend 10 minutes per day creating content. Because I know my audience. I have 5 topics that I talk about that I package differently and I present it either in a live session or on long-form video content. And I chop up bits and pieces from that long-form video content and spread it out, which makes me able to spend the majority of my time on the activities that will generate leads and generate sales. Conversations. I hope you liked my video and that you find it valuable. And if you want to learn more about how to close your first high-ticket client, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the next one.